Dude, I'm so stoked we're doing this.
Me too. It's crazy.
I've been slacking so hard on these episodes on this trip. I was hoping to be at episode 10 or something by now, and you are episode 3, so...
Let's make it worth it, man.
It's going to be worth it, man. Ashton Williams, we're
Hey,
here.
hey, how is everybody?
We're here in Chattanooga, still in Mason's driveway. This has worked out real well to be parked while we do this.
I know.
Because after getting everything set up and recording a couple stationary with the car parked, I realized that driving the car, everything would have been moving around too much. The white noise of the car driving, and yeah, it just would have been too many variables involved. So having it parked makes things easier for setup, continuity with audio and video and all that stuff.
For sure.
And this episode is the first episode I'm shooting with the G50 because that's on a tripod, like on the front seats. I'm obviously doing audio only streaming too, so this will be available on Spotify and iTunes and stuff. Yeah.
So my girlfriend can listen to this on her way to work.
Absolutely.
Because she does that.
Hey, so on that note, how good were those chili cheese fries she made you the other night?
Well, see, with her being vegan, I've had to kind of adjust to everything, but honestly, it tastes better.
Yeah, man, it's so
It
good.
tastes better. The way that she's making it happen, I can't even believe it that it's,
You're a lucky
I can't
man.
believe it's not meat,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're a lucky man. Because you went out to eat with us the other night, and you're like, no, I better not. Girlfriend's at a house just making chili cheese fries, and we're like, oh
Hey,
my gosh.
It was worth the wait. I ate 2 bowls.
That's amazing.
She was like, but she didn't save me any sweet potato fries. She made regular fries and sweet potato.
Oh, she ate them
And
all?
she was like, I didn't think you liked those. And I was like, there was a couple like left in my batch. And I was like, there was some sweet potato fries in here. And
Yeah. Oh, man.
So.
Well, I was like, I was trying to get that low key like invite real bad. Once I realized she has a sister and she's like crashing with you guys right now, I was like, does she cook too?
For real.
But no, that was a good night. Glad you came out and hung out with us for a little bit. Every time we're in town, I don't feel like we're in town long enough, and
I know.
always scrambling around to try to like get things done, but also meet up with everybody and spend like quality time with everybody.
For sure.
Because you know how at the show, it's like you bump into a few people. I saw some of my Nashville friends at the show yesterday. I was anchored to the Governor's Club booth, so it was real tough. They'd swing by, say hi, and then they'd like run off, and then I wouldn't see them again. And so
Yeah,
it's
and
really
then-
cool that you guys are hanging out here around Mason's.
For sure. By the time you set everything up, it's like the day's over because you know,
that's the way it always goes.
it's crazy.
I mean, and I'd rather float. I mean, I'm a social butterfly when it comes to these events, and I love floating around and looking at everything and just talking to tons of people. And so it's kind of an inconvenience to be anchored to a booth all day long because I feel like I'm just stuck in that one spot.
For sure.
But it does allow me to speak to a lot of people that come through the booth and talk about the car,
Meet
about
new people.
Yeah, exactly. But you're right. It seems like the second you get set up, you're like tearing down and the whole day's gone and you saw nothing at the show.
Yeah.
You
And
saw
you're
no
so
cars
tired and you're like, man, I still got to live the night out.
yeah, because then we had the after meet, and like you said, you were in bed by 9 last night.
Man, I tried to set it. I went to sleep, took a nap. I was like, I'm going to set my alarm for 10 p.m. because I'm like, I want to see everybody.
Yep.
Hey, I laid down on the couch. 15 minutes later, I was in my bed.
Done.
It was
I
over
get it.
with. I couldn't.
I felt the same way. We weren't too far behind you. We got back here to Mason's by like 11 and called it. But yeah, so yesterday was the show. We had the Governor's Club meet on Thursday, and when I recorded Mason's podcast, it was like the afternoon before the meet.
Nice.
And you were headed out to Cleveland to get your scooter with your sweet 1980s Toyota van.
Yeah. Rest in peace, maybe.
Dude, man. First of all, how long ago did you total your Civic? Like, was that like within the last year?
Oh, yeah. It was 3 months ago, 3 or 4 months ago. Head-on collision.
Man.
My fault. This is the first wreck I've been in that's been my fault. Knock on wood.
Yep.
And then,
So on your way to Cleveland.
very unfortunate events.
Yeah, so what happened?
There's a Jeep in the fast lane, Hyundai Santa Fe in the middle lane. I'm in the slow lane because,
You're
I
in
drive
that
an
van.
old van. It's, 55 uphill.
Yep.
He was trying to pass the car in front of him, and I guess the Hyundai Santa Fe is in his blind spot. Hits that car. They sandwich and then hit me into the right guardrail.
Man.
I hit the right guardrail, and they fishtail me like this way. We're in 5 o'clock traffic.
Yep.
3 lanes, 3 lanes of highway and 5 o'clock traffic. I'm sliding. I slammed the middle concrete barrier after sliding across 3 lanes, and then I'm coming back right, and I'm seeing his Jeep. Like, this is a full-size, brand-new Jeep Gladiator. Lifted, wheels, everything. Nice truck.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing this big vehicle just flip through the air like it's nothing, you know, like.
Yeah, because it rolled a bunch of times and ejected the guy.
Right, yeah. So
man.
after I get out, the first thing I see is a baby carrier with no baby in it on the ground. I'm thinking, man, there's no way right now this is happening.
Yeah.
So I have to look. We're right there by the woods on the other side of the guardrail, and I'm like, I guess I'm gonna have to start looking for a baby, you know, like in the woods. So I check the vehicle, and I'm like, there's no driver in there either. Like, I can barely see through the cracked windshield because it's smashed, you know.
Yeah.
And I see there's no driver in there. By that time, there's plenty of witnesses around because, I mean, we're in full-on traffic.
Right.
And they're like, no, he's back here. So I find out there was no baby in the car.
Man, thank God.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And this gentleman is laying, you know, beside the guardrail. He was ejected from the top of the Jeep after the first roll.
Yep.
And hit the guardrail with part of his body and ended up having 8 broken ribs, punctured lung, broken collarbone.
Oh, man.
Crazy head gash and a bunch of road rash. And
lucky to be alive, man.
I don't know how he lived, man. They told me that, you know, when they walked over to him and like the police and everybody walked over and trying to get his information and find out who he was, he told him his driver's license number and his date of birth.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, you were just ejected from a car at 70 miles an hour.
Wow.
To a guardrail, dead flat. And I'm thinking, bro, you just told, like, you remembered all of that?
That's crazy.
He is very blessed to be alive. I'm happy that nobody passed away. Everybody's safe. And
that being said, first and foremost, a second tier, what a bummer about the van, man. That van was in, like, you know, I'd seen it plenty of times before this incident, but dude, that thing was a cream puff. What is it, an 86?
It's an 86 model, 80? One owner. Had every service record from 86 until now.
Twin sunroof.
Dual sunroofs, every option except 4-wheel drive.
Oh my gosh!
And it was automatic, not 5-speed. But when you get all the options, you know, they're not going to make you shift.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
You know, Cherry, man, like it was perfect for everything I wanted to do. It would haul my jet skis, haul my scooters. You know, if I wanted to move big furniture, I would go buy furniture and put it in it. You know, just take the seats out and throw anything I wanted to in it. And you know, I'm out here being safe in the slow lane.
Yeah,
and,
man, minding your own business.
You know,
it's awful, man.
You can't win every time.
It's been a tough 2020.
For real, 2 cars, man. I went from 3 to 2 or 3 to 1.
Yeah.
You know, within 3 or 4 months.
That's awful, man. Well, hopefully, if anything, you find another one and you can use this one as parts or, you know, whatever. I mean,
I'm for sure gonna buy it back. Whether it means, you know, me repairing it or me parting it out. I've had both offers from people.
Right. Yep.
I have a couple friends who do auto body work. We might can make it a little project, or I've had people wanting to buy it as it is because I mean, everything is literally cherry. Like it's all good. Like there was some paint fading, but other than that, straightest body I've ever seen on one, and
it was real clean.
So, I mean, hey, life goes on. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, it's a good attitude to have. Just too bad. So getting to the scooter and like jet skis and stuff, you've been messing with some like really cool like retro stuff lately.
Yeah, I really it's not just nostalgia that draws me to it, man. It's the feeling of everything, you know. It's I just love 2-stroke specifically. I like the smell.
Yep.
You know, the feeling. I like tinkering
that.
With things, you know, and it's you definitely have to tinker with 2-stroke stuff. So they're usually pretty cheap and you can have fun, you know, and most people see them and they're like, what is that? Or I haven't seen that in forever. And, you know, I like that feeling.
Yeah.
Especially to have it in good condition, you know.
That's right. Yeah. You're almost like a curator of sorts at that point because someone's owned it before you and someone will own it after you maybe. Mm-hmm. And so you're kind of just like curating it in a way, which is really cool. And that kind of correlates to, aesthetically, it correlates to your photo work because you've recently been doing more film. For sure. So basically, you're a photographer. That's been your career at some points in your life.
Yeah, I've been doing that for the last 3, 4, 5 years.
And you were doing it like professionally for like
Right.
some rappers.
Right. Yeah. Record labels, rappers.
Yeah.
Really whoever, whoever was paying.
You went out to California for a little bit?
Yeah. Lived in Hollywood for a year. We had one house in the hills, and then we had one house on Lyric Avenue, which was the street that Walt Disney grew up on.
Cool.
And that's in Los Feliz, right outside of Hollywood. We lived there for about half the time that we were there also. And it's just crazy, man, because, I mean, I would have never expected that. Our rent at that spot was $15,000 a month.
Oh my goodness gracious!
But
That's
I mean,
so crazy.
It was a full concrete house, like waterfall off the side of it. You walk through like a vineyard to the like crazy modern pool.
Wow.
It had like a hot tub under the porch, like full rock. You know.
Yep.
Amazing.
Wow, that's crazy.
It was crazy, man. It's such good times. Like,
that's a wild. Yeah, I mean, that's a really cool thing to have under your belt, though.
oh yeah, man.
Know?
All the places I've been, the experiences I've made, even with the people I made it with, man, it was definitely worth it.
That's
worth my
awesome.
time. I had amazing time.
And you've made some contacts with that too, that I'm sure you'll utilize in the future.
Oh yeah. I mean, more than contacts too, though. Friends, whether I'm going to a different city or, I can expect to see them or look forward to it.
I understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so then you grew up in Southern Tennessee, right?
Yeah, I grew up in Cleveland, about 30 minutes outside of Chattanooga.
Yep. And then, so you went to California for a bit. When you came back here, were you still doing the photography thing?
Yeah, I came back. So I came back. I lived in LA for 2016, part of 2017. I moved back here, kind of just to regroup. Ended up getting another gig in Atlanta. I moved to Atlanta.
That's right.
Around, I guess I was here for 8 or 9 months, and I moved to Atlanta, and I was there for 2 years doing the same thing that I was doing, in LA.
Yep.
And somehow my girlfriend stayed with me through the whole thing. We went from being together. We were together for a year when it was time for me to move, but I just felt like at the time that was the best thing for me to do, as far as experience and life. And she stuck with me through the whole 2 years of doing, long distance. I mean, not necessarily long distance, but 2 years or 2 hours worth of drive time.
Yeah. Yep.
So, I mean, we stuck it out through that. And
that's great, man. I know we were talking about that the other day, just in conversation, that, she put up with the fact that you weren't just away, but the environment that you were in when you were shooting photos, like rappers and rap videos. And
yeah, you can imagine.
Yeah, female persuasion everywhere. Yeah,
for sure. She's a good one, man. I'm very happy.
Dude, you're a lucky man.
Very happy.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
I love you, baby.
Yes. And so now, like, you're doing hair and stuff now too, right?
Yeah. So I came back last August from Atlanta on not the best terms, but it was the best thing for me.
Yep.
I'm pretty well rounded as far as like my family and being around people who mean, the most to me.
Right.
And I hate seeing everybody get older and me not be able to be around like my grandparents and my aunt and my mom, everybody. I hate to feel like I come back and I can tell that they've gotten older.
Yeah.
And I can't see them as much as I usually would. So to be here and to be a part of those things and be a part of my niece and nephew's lives and, just be able to be there and, experience everything with them meant a lot to me.
I'm sure. Yeah.
And so I moved back kind of not knowing what I was going to do. I was kind of in a little rut. And so I just took some time off. I started thinking and I was like, I need to find something that's going to make me money or be able to make me money forever. And also something that a robot's not going to be able to do.
True. Yeah.
And I got to thinking, and I had a couple of friends getting into it too, and they're like, "Man, you ever thought about cutting hair?" And I was like, "No, not really." And I was like, I like it, I'm interested in it, but I never thought about actually doing it,
Yep.
And I kind of like clothes and style and fashion a little bit, nothing crazy. But I was like, and then I get to see like the extents that you can do it to, like,
right.
You change people's lives every chance, like that's like every time that you're getting to see somebody, hopefully you're making their life better.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if I can be a part of that and also be able to express myself, it won't even feel like work.
That's it. And you're bringing value to people's
Yeah.
lives. You know, they feel good about
Yeah.
themselves when
Yep.
you're done, which is awesome. And that's rewarding for you too.
For sure. Yeah, that
And your girlfriend's in hair too, right?
she is a stylist. She's very successful now.
Perfect.
She really goes crazy.
That's awesome.
It's amazing to see her growth, and she's teaching me a lot. I'm actually trying to learn women's hair also.
Awesome.
You know, maybe one day I can do her hair.
That'd be awesome. You know, she'd really be putting her trust in you at that
For
point.
sure, yeah. She's probably gonna have to teach me some too, you know, like
Yeah,
as
I'm
we
sure.
go. But I
Yep.
mean, it's cool, man. Like being able to, you know, change people's lives, or, you know, just be able to, you know, see a lot of people, you know, very regularly, you know,
Yep.
and technically you're on the clock, but you're not, because I mean, it's just like you're conversating, but you know.
Yeah, that's great that you were kind of, and you still do the photography thing, but it's
Oh, yeah.
cool that you're able to like kind of fill some voids with something that you're actually kind of passionate about
For sure.
and can make some money doing. And it's low impact. You're not out there, you're not out in the sweltering sun all day, you
Yeah.
know, breaking your back
Yeah.
and kind of always constantly looking for the next thing.
Mhm.
I mean, I've done that before
Oh,
too,
yeah.
so I know what that's like.
For
But,
sure.
Um,
And while I was in school, you know, I mean, I didn't really have a job, and then like COVID hit because I started school in December, and I had some money saved up, and I was like, well, I'm gonna ride it out and just pay my bills, you know, and go to school and make that my priority rather than having a job. But
Yep.
this guy
yeah, your book. Let's talk about that.
this guy came up.
So what was so how many pages?
It's 200 front to back.
And it's titled Nothing to See Here.
Nothing to see here. A photo book by me, Ashton Williams.
So what brought that on? Is that something that you've always wanted to do?
Well, it's probably been a year or two ago. I knew that I wanted to just be able to hold
Right.
my work. I just want to hold it. And I really took the time, and I was like, man, I don't know if I want to learn how to do this, like design work and all of this. So I started thinking of the most talented people that I could collaborate with.
Yep.
And it dawned on me that Dax Rodriguez, he owns Sincere. It's a book, and also he did a lot of the Street Sweeper Gang videos back in the day. Super talented man, and he we'd had a kind of a close-knit, you know, relationship, and I was like, man, what better person to make this happen? He had
Awesome.
sent me a couple of his books, and I was like, man, he's super talented. He's like, yeah, I did all of that. And I'm like, yeah, that's crazy, you know, just to think that, you know, he did everything in those books. And I was like, man, you know, what would it take for you to, you know, be a part of this? Because I love what you do. And he was like, yeah, I'd love to be. So, you know, we set a price and set a time, you know, like when we wanted to do it.
Yep.
And I came up with a release date, which was my father's birthday, June 4th.
Yep.
And my father passed away in 2015. And I've kind of just, you know, as the time goes by, you kind of just realize all the things they taught you and the importance of, you know, when you don't have somebody, all you can think about is the memories.
Exactly.
You know,
Yep.
so you're like, I just got to think, like when I do something, you know, I think about, yeah, he taught me how to do this, or he taught me how to be this way, or he taught me how to, you know, so I was like, man, I'm just going to, you know, dedicate this book to him. So
That's
I released it on his birthday, and I gave him the front page.
Oh, that's great.
Here it's got a couple of photos of me and him and my family.
Yep.
And it says rest in paradise, and this book is for you.
That's awesome, man.
And anyway, so I was like, I want to dedicate it to him. I sent Dax a folder, and I was like, man, just do what you do. Like, I didn't have any direction.
So he helped. Well, yeah. So you basically sent him all the content.
Yeah, sent
content,
him a
and he
Dropbox,
laid it
or a
out for you?
Dropbox folder.
Yep.
And I was like, hey, like, I'm not giving you any limits. Like, do what you want to do. Like,
That's awesome.
you know, I gave you the content. I'm going to give you the opportunity to just be free.
Yep.
You know, like, I'm not going to sit here and nitpick you the whole way through, because this is a big project.
That's awesome.
And he started sending me stuff, and we kind of worked through it, you know, like I was kind of like telling him like, yeah, if I like it or not. But, you know, at the same time, I'm letting him be himself, you know, like, and then it's like he was doing stuff like super basic at first. And then all of a sudden, like, he sent me this cover
Yep.
and I was like, whoa, like, this felt crazy to me. I was like, dude, like this feels like me, you know, cover wise. I was like, I think that's it.
That's awesome.
And he was like, yeah, all right. Well, then he started going on, you know, the interior, and the way that he just put everything together, it really blew my mind, man, because he wasn't there for any of the, you know, experiences or anything, but
Right.
the way that he made the colors flow and everything makes sense.
Well, and it's great because it's clear that he understood like your direction with your content. You know?
Yeah, it's crazy. That's what I'm saying. Like picking him was perfect.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I would do another one with him, even though this one is 5 years worth of work. And
yeah, I'm sure.
I mean, this is not a small book.
Well,
but
so where can people find that book?
they're on my Instagram at Ashton Williams. It's Ashton Williams with a 0, all one word.
Yeah, Ashton. The O in Ashton is a 0. Right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
Yep.
There's a link there. I think, what is the link? I think it's ntsh.bigcartel.com.
You probably have a link on your bio.
It's in my bio.
Yep.
You can go there. You can get this book, 200 pages for $50 shipped.
Yeah, that's
it's
amazing.
Not costing you, you know, any shipping.
But honestly, there's a lot of people that listen to this that are into photography, that are into cars. The content is photo heavy. You know what I mean? Because you're a photographer. So all the photos in that book are your photos, I'm assuming.
Oh, every one of
Everything.
them.
Yeah,
everything
I wouldn't know if
here.
you collaborated with other photographers on the book, but
no, this is all me. This is, this, I don't even know. The folder I sent him had to have 550, 600 photos in it.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's awesome.
And I think we didn't use 30.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So, I mean.
And so I've seen them. You sent some photos of me or to me, but you've got a few photos of the Corvair in there from when we were hanging out at Austin's house in Florida.
Yep.
A lot of your film stuff in there.
Oh, everything in this book except for like 2 pages is film.
Oh, that's good to know. Yeah, that's awesome, man.
I kind of stepped back from digital just as I was using it for work, but for myself and like for the things that I'm into, it felt better.
Yeah, and I mean, you're a retro soul anyway.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I like everything that's old. Like,
yeah,
I can afford a newer car, but realistically, like I would just buy something old just because I will smile. I'll smile the whole time. And
and that's awesome because it fits your aesthetic. There's a lot of, we were talking about my friend Dan Crosley just before we started this podcast. But
what's up, Dan?
Yeah, so Dan, I don't know, maybe 4 years ago, that might be a shorter or longer time period, but he went to like all film. Like he was shooting phenomenal content with digital for years, and then he's gone to all film. It's cool that you're kind of on that same realm because you're both kind of similar in like how much of an old soul you are. So that book, and I've only flipped through it like quickly, but it is just a representation of like what you're about aesthetically too. So that's really cool that you were able to collaborate with somebody that understood that and put it together to where you weren't laying everything out, stressing out. You had a professional do it, but they were kind of on the same wavelength.
Yeah, he really did it. Also, I wanted to add that when you open the front page, there's a QR code for a curated playlist that you can play while you go through the book.
Oh, that's sick.
It kind of just helps you put your brain in the right spot.
In the space, yeah.
As you go through it.
That's really cool, man.
Music that goes with, everything.
That's really cool.
Just press shuffle and be happy. That's really all it is,
Man, that's it. So if anyone listening that's interested in any of Ashton's photo work or seeing this book, definitely go to his Instagram page, click on the link, and order one of these books. It's going to a good cause. I think it's a great thing. And I'm excited to buy my own copy.
For sure.
I know. Thanks for bringing an extra copy over.
For sure.
Yeah. Dude, this has been awesome. I know these things. Sure. This is why it feels like a podcast can go for 2 hours easy.
I know. Before this, I was like, 20 minutes. Like, what am I going to talk about? But now that I'm sitting here, it's like I'm forgetting that I'm even in here.
That's it. See, and that's what I aim for. Because I know I could tell you were like, so what do you want to talk about? Because you were trying to get like prepared for it. Yeah. I'm like, dude, we're going to get in there. We're just going to talk. We're going to hang out. And
Crazy. It's like these headphones put you in the space.
They do. Yeah, they certainly do. And this is like my first year doing podcasts. And so I'm still technically green at this. I'm still a rookie. But
this is better than The Office that most people are putting their podcast on. And
oh, I appreciate it, man. Like it's I don't know. I just like talking to my friends and hanging out. I feel like I've got a ton of friends that have a lot of value and content to bring to something like this. And it's not to self-promote. It's to bring value to everybody that listens to it. This particular series in the Century just like had to happen, you know, because you're a car guy too. And
For sure.
And
I can't even believe I'm sitting here.
How crazy is that?
This is crazy.
This car drove around Japan its whole life.
Yeah, and here we are sitting in the back of it just talking about us.
In Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Amazing. Crazy.
I mean, and I knew I could easily do 2 to 3 hour long podcasts sitting in here just because of like having you, Mason, Robert from Move Technic, you know, whoever else. But I wanted to limit these to like half-hour little snippets in order to, you know, get traction for like a long, like a lengthy podcast.
I mean, for sure, because nowadays people attention spans, they just.
But it is crazy the amount of people that will, because when I'm working in my laser shop, like I'll have a podcast, but I'll listen to a 3 or 4 hour long
I guess
podcast.
I'm actually thinking about just the viewing part.
That's it. Exactly. Yeah.
I forget that this is not going to be just for view.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
yeah. The audio will be up too, so people can listen in their car.
It's going to be weird to hear my voice.
I'm sure. Got a couple bugs in here too.
They just trying to hang out. It's cool.
Yeah.
If they don't get on me, they can hang out.
It's on your cheek right now.
For real?
Yeah.
What?
He got trapped in here when we shut the doors.
See, I tried to talk good about him, and then it just.
No, he's only out for himself. Yeah, basically what I want to do is get the AC fixed in this car. It gets a little toasty back here, and have the car running, and you could have like a little bit of that volume aesthetic too of the audio. But, but we'd have the seats are heated and chilled, and we got HVAC vents everywhere.
They're chilled too,
dude. Yeah, it's nuts.
Do they run off the AC or?
Yeah.
Wow, this is so ahead of its time.
It really was.
1991 with chilled seats. I don't think you guys ever heard of that one.
No,
never.
It's wild. Japan was leading it for sure.
They really know what they're doing. It's crazy because when did American cars start doing chilled seats? I think it's been like 2015 maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe.
I don't know.
That I might be giving them more credit than that.
We had some weird stuff like in the 80s that was like kind of futuristic too.
Yeah, they're trying things out.
But this car for sure like encapsulated stuff that was kind of proven, which is pretty wild.
Amazing. I mean, there's just so many buttons back here.
It's wild. And it's all in Japanese. Which
yeah,
is
you're
really
like,
crazy. I've gone around the car with Google Translate on my phone, being like, "Oh, cool."
What does this say?
I've on our cross country drive with it. I was just like pressing stuff, and I'm like, "Ooh, that's what that does," and whatever. But in the shop, once I got home, I went around everything with Google Translate, and it was really kind of cool to see like just how it all actually translates into English.
For sure, like right here in English, it says "cool and hot box with ice maker."
Yeah, how cool is that?
Man, we are just living it right now.
It's awesome. Well. This was awesome, man. Thanks for doing this.
Yes, sir.
This was awesome. Heck yeah, man. This was awesome.
Of course.
This has been episode 3. Get to Ashton's Instagram and get a copy of his book. Nothing to see here.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, it'd be a great coffee table book addition to your house.
For sure. There's been people all over the world. I mean, I think I've sold, 125, 130 copies.
That's awesome, man.
People sending me, from everywhere, just wherever it is in their house. And I'm like, man,
it's a good feeling, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's amazing to see, just the expansion.
That's awesome, man. Well, thanks for doing this, man. We'll do a full length at some point, too. That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome, because we got plenty of stuff to talk about.
This isn't the end.
No, it is not. Well, thank you, everybody, for listening. You can see all of Ashton's stuff on Instagram at Ashton with a 0 instead of an O, Williams. And I am john.ludwick, Ludwick, the Governor's Club.
Podcast of the century.
That's it. Podcast of the century. We're out of here.
Yeah.
See ya.
Bye.